welcome to Interceptor Beyond podcast. My name is Arthur, and today we have two awesome bands, Sasquatch from the United States and Slomosa from Norway. Their gig in Vienna was a last-minute addition, and I found out about it a couple of days before. I didn't have much time to properly prepare, so I had to skip a couple of research steps, and I wish I hadn't done so, because for example Slomosa missed some crucial info, but in general everything went fine, really satisfied with it. So the next day after the Hippie Death Cult recording, I went to Arena Basel where the event was taking place. As usual, I came early, arranged with the bands that we will have our interviews right after the gigs. That's what they wanted, and that's what we did. So right after the Slomosa gig, after the band destroyed the crowd, 15 minutes later we went to the green room of the Arena Basel to record the interview with Benjamin of the Slomosa. And before we talk to Benjamin, I would like to remind you not to forget follow this podcast, leave a rating on Spotify and Apple, and you can always support the podcast by subscribing on Patreon page, and the link is in the description. Alright, let's talk to Benjamin.
My name is Benjamin Bardus, and I play in the band Slomosa from Norway.
Norway. First of all, you just played, we're just like in a green room. I saw you play amazing.
Thank you.
The charisma is through the roof. You know, was it like that from the beginning? No, I don't think so.
Well, it's hard for me to say, kind of. The charisma in the band, you mean? Like
everybody?
Yeah.
All the people in a band, like super charismatic, like destroyer of the whole, like, you know, like audience and stuff.
Yeah, but it's. I think it's because we're having fun, you know? It's important to have fun, not take it too seriously, you know? And also just enjoy the moment because you're doing maybe, you know... We've all grown up dreaming about playing in a band. And, you know, we're not a huge band, but it's still, people come to our gigs. You know, you can't expect or plan for that, you know? It's just an extremely nice thing that happened. A lot of coincidences and a lot of things, random stuff. Random people see you. We haven't talked about charisma or tried to plan, like, anything. People say that they like that we smile when we play. And, like, I don't want it to be like a macho band, you know. I don't want us to try and look tough or anything like that in any way. I think it's important because most of the fans are nice people as well, or they are, you know, kind, funny people, you know.
I mean, like today, I saw like how the house was packed. I would say like it was many people, and today is a holiday. You know, we were not expecting so many people. They all came, really enjoyed. All like I was like freaking out, you know. Because I saw you live, as I said, the charisma. But you can't really plan charisma. This is like something that comes. It's a confidence thing.
That's one of the coincidences with a band, you know. I'm saying you can't plan anything. You can plan to release a record. You can plan to this and that, play some gigs, you know, release concerts and all of that. But you can't really... there's a lot of factors in play. And, you know, I'm glad people enjoy our on-stage charisma and... It's another lucky coincidence, you know.
When did you feel that you have it? You know, because as a band, you start, you don't know, you try it out things, you know, and then you saw that something clicked.
In the beginning, there was another gang in the beginning, you know, that started the band. There was no plan, you know, also coincidental.
There's never a plan.
No, but it was never a plan to do anything, you know. It was an excuse to, back then, drink beers, smoke weed together, just play, jam, just trying to make songs. All of us had played in bands. We had a lot of riffs at home, and we just brought them out. Somebody wanted us to play a concert, a good friend of us. So we did it. People liked it. Okay, so we...
You know, I was talking to the Hippie Death Cult yesterday, like to take an interview. Same shit, but a little bit different in ways that it was a coincidence, you know? They all came in the right place, and then they were in the right state of mind. Like, I asked yesterday Eddie from the Hippie Death Cult, like, for them it clicked at some point when they were in the stage when they didn't give a fuck about anything, you know? Like about how they play, whatever, you know? And with you, it feels like was there right from the beginning.
Yeah, but that is true, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the way we are on stage, the charisma you were talking about, I think it kind of not demystifies, but it's kind of you let the audience in, you know, and it also helps you to not be nervous, you know, that you can just be yourself and have fun, and it just from the start, in the beginning when we started after releasing the album, when this band started to tour, of course, it was a learning process. But now we played over 70 concerts this year, and I remember maybe like we were talking before the first tour. Back then, we'd only played 5 concerts together because of COVID.
Yeah, and your album came out in 2020.
Yeah, it came out
during the COVID.
Yeah, half a year after it started, and also I didn't expect anything because of that. But we played a couple of concerts, enjoyed it. But when I look at footage and when I think back, we weren't very tight. The band was kind of, I would say, like everyone was playing well, except me when it comes to singing. Like I'd never really taken that singing that seriously. The timing and everything. And I'm really grateful for the first tour because luckily, I'd thought about that before we went on tour, and I knew I had to like tighten it up. And now it's very relaxing.
The first tour, you mean with a Stoner, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
With Stoner, and
there was a little bit of, there was a lot of pressure. All of a sudden you're like opening for Stoner every night.
But I like the pressure. I don't really feel like pressure in a negative way. That means that people are looking forward to seeing us. It's good.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good that you deal with it. But some people would shit themselves. Like if they have to open for Brent Bjork and Nicola Berry and all the.
But then I think they're taking it a bit too seriously. I've been a teenager looking up to Brent Bjork and Nicola Berry as an adult as well. They're two of my absolute biggest heroes. Beforehand I was like, fuck, I'm going to play with them. Of course, they had like a god figure with me when I was younger. Now I know it's like everyone is just a person. Still, it was like, are we going to get along? Will we ever talk? Anything? And it was amazing.
How was it? It's just like you came in, you get to know each other, and then played a couple of shows, and then it went.
Yeah, I remember they came in the first time we met them in Galway in Ireland. They come into the venue. I didn't know what to say, to any of them. You don't want to be, you always like, you don't want to be too pushy, but I didn't have anything to say. Like I had no idea what to say. But anyway, but after, a couple of weeks, when everyone gets into it, you become close, with whoever you tour with. And they're amazing guys, and, they're just the same as us,
They also wanted to, did you ask them if they knew about you before?
No, but I know that they didn't. I know.
Nobody knew you before. You immediately you appeared in 2020. When was it? Like 2020.
Yeah.
With the album, I saw it. Like I discovered you back then. I was like, well, what's up with the camo and stuff? And then I clicked it, and I checked it out. Fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had the same reaction.
Yeah, I think maybe when they saw us play live, they appreciated our music, and also Nick came on stage singing Horses with us at Desert Berlin, and I enjoyed their music so much as well. But it's nice when your childhood heroes give you compliments about your riffs.
Did he say anything like cool to you? Because this is the moment when a moment when your childhood hero can fuck you up or can really help you. Were you afraid that he's gonna be like different from what you expected?
Not afraid, but like curious. Brandt has always seemed chill out. Nick seemed like, a crazy fun person. And it turned out to be exactly that,
And then you got your confidence. And then this is the charisma I was talking about. To get the charisma, you need to have an open window to get it through. And you had like a good, learning by firehouse code, like you were thrown into this tour.
Actually, like the playing and the music isn't that hard. The hard thing to learn is the whole administrative thing, the whole thing of running, because a band becomes a business,
The business side.
Yeah, just like the way, and also a tour, you have to order merch, you have to get a driver, the van.
Who's doing this in your band? Who's doing the business stuff, booking at least, or something?
Booking is Sound of Liberation, an agency in Europe. Fantastic. They've done so much to us. They are a huge part of what is happening. They've really opened the door for us. But I do most of like the.
Well, you do interviews.
Yeah, and I also do. But we try to interview together. But I do most of a lot of the administrative repetitive things, and it's also because I just, back then, someone just had to do it, and it became more and more, and now we kind of we're starting to divide tasks on each member. But it happened so fast that everyone couldn't. I learned a lot about everything, because you have to tax of things, you have to have control, you have to answer emails every day, you have to
Social media.
That is maybe like the hardest thing. Now I'm getting better and better at just using social media. Back then, of course, I had profiles as well, but I wasn't that active. But suddenly you have to keep it going. You have to. It's so important as well, and you'd like to just not have to care about it. But you've got to, as a band, and it's a nice way to communicate with the fans as well. But that was hard. In the beginning, it felt like, or the last year for me, it's felt like it's been half the job, even though it's not that much, but it's just been like, oh, I have to put something. I would think about it for 8 hours. I have to share something.
I know what you think. It's the same thing that all the people I talk to. It's like, instead of this time, you could have been doing music and stuff, that stuff you like, but you have to do all this bullshit, but you have to do it, and you wish that somebody else would do it. But at this point, you have to do it yourself.
The kind of motivation was how good things have been, It must be so hard if you don't. In our situation, I find it's hard to do all that stuff. Have to, get knowledge about so many different things that you never have to care about. But when things are good, people enjoy the music, people come to our shows, that takes away the edge, You're kind of, it's giving, it gives you something. And when things are smooth, it's kind of, it's a lot easier at least.
Well, in your case, it's a little bit easier in a way that you already, let's say, somewhat successful. Like you came through the roof immediately. Everybody knows you. I know you. There are so many people, like 45,000 Spotify listeners per month, for example. That's a freaking a lot. Do you know those numbers? No. Yeah. I mean, it's freaking amazing. I mean, people can dream about it. So at this point, you can a little bit relax about like if you're going to be successful or not. Maybe it's not, but you can it's a little bit easier.
And I feel like we've established something at least around after playing these 70 gigs. There are people who come to our shows again and again. No one knows what will happen tomorrow. Now the next thing is to write music again. That time disappears completely. You don't have a single hour to just sit down and just concentrate. It's not that you don't have the physical hours, but you have to think about other things with the band. You have to always think about you have to make that free space. So now we're writing music for 1 week in Münster from this weekend.
Yeah, you told me that you're going there. Yeah. Like, hopefully you're gonna write some new write a couple of demos.
Yeah.
Some friends hit you up with stuff.
And get away from at home, because music is one thing, but the rest of your life doesn't disappear either.
Are you a bit afraid going back after the tour, because you got used to the tour so much? It's the stories, like when you come home and feel a bit depressed.
Yeah, well, the main difference for me, at least, I don't know with the others, but for me, you get so used to having people around you all the time, and suddenly you're back to the peaceful. Like I hang with people all the time in Norway as well, but it's not like all the time, So that's a huge change, but it's actually like it's so relaxing to go on tour. It's like
that's what I heard.
It gives me energy, even though we've played 17 days in a row on this tour. It's just still like, you don't have all the stress that you have back home,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It becomes addicting, you know what you do, your schedule, that there are people, hopefully, but usually in your case, there are like people who dig you, and you get this energy, you get this kick. It's like it becomes addicting. But okay, so you're going to be writing new music. You mentioned behind the scenes when we were talking that all the songs that you write, well, most of it, are really important to you. You write the lyrics, right?
Mm.
So, and in this time, before you were playing, I checked out the lyrics of the songs to see what you meant, There's a lot of I.
There is.
Yeah. So I guess you take inspiration from your real life in a way.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of anger, maybe.
There is as well.
And trying to be understood.
I think it's an ironic thing about the record is that it's pretty feel good. a lot of the songs,
But it's jolly good, but it's sad.
but still it's like angry as well. You know,
I felt the anger because it's like you're trying to make other person at least like get your point or understand you. And some horses, for example, maybe I'm not sure. Maybe I confused everything.
Horses is I think that's a fascinating song because I hear a lot of theories about what the song, what the meaning of the song is. And a good friend of mine, he thought it was heroin because of horses. Some other people think it's that and this.
I mean, like Rolling Stones, like horses.
Yeah, no. I think you know, for me, it's got a very personal meaning. But I think it's people are more similar than you think, and it's relatable, you know, and transferable to everybody's lives. The things people usually sing about, and I mean, like, it's also there's anger. There's also yeah, there is actually a lot of anger, but there's also I think in my mind's desert that song is kind of for me ironical, you know. I think it's a bit funny, the lyrics. When I sing them, I think about I remember writing those lyrics. A lot of people, we get emails from, there was an email not long ago from a guy who said he was like he was having a hard time, and that song saved his life. Like so,
Fuck yeah.
so I was when I read that email, I was like, what the fuck? And another journalist told me that COVID, it helped her through COVID so bad, you know, like she would listen to it every day. And I mean, it's mind blowing to me that anyone can. I remember writing the lyrics. It didn't feel like it was special at all. And that song is. Those lyrics are written around the time I was 25, 26. Pretty crazy years. Those years, pretty heavy years for me. Before that, I was a little bit more. Just life was funny. But then you become an adult. And this time around, I don't know, I don't feel the same as when I was 25 and wrote the previous ones. And it will always be the same. It will always be personal. Yeah.
So when was, you said 25, when was it before the album? Like a couple of years before the album?
Yeah, probably in, fuck me, we used such a long time to produce the album. Now I'm 30, so I was 26, yeah, in 2018. I probably wrote most of the lyrics. And some of them don't mean anything at all. It's just sentences.
Maybe you shouldn't say that. Maybe for some people, you know, like maybe people for
I'm
the
not
people.
I'm not saying what songs.
Right.
And also when I read the lyrics now, they kind of have, I can find meaning in them. But it was kind
You
of...
mean?
Yeah, but it was kind of, especially one of the songs is me singing things that I thought sounded cool to sing.
Well, you can always make a second version, a remix of some kind with additional
The
lyrics.
music has to be fun, you know, not pretentious. You know, you don't need to be so fucking deep in every song, you know. I can, if something sounds good, like, think of all the songs you love, but, you know, it's just Wonderwall, you know. What the fuck does it mean? Maybe
Blank
I wanna
face.
be the one that saves me. It's just like, it sounds good to sing, you know. It flows nicely.
You know, you played at least one new song tonight, I think. You said it's like a new song.
Yeah, we played 3 new songs.
Shit, sorry. But
It's good. That means that they're kind of in the same vein as the first.
the one that you, I mean, you said like this is the new song, and I was like, okay, I need to like specifically listen to the changes, like in the something with your voice. You like change the voice pitch or something.
Yeah, I just sing in a deeper pitch.
Deeper pitch.
Yeah, but until the last chorus, you know, like the outro chorus. That's
Because your voice is iconic, I would say. Like this is like your their shtick, you know, like your grooves and stuff. But your voice, in combination with the stoner rock, I think this is like the special ingredient, I would say. Did somebody tell you this?
I think that's a little bit exaggerated, but yeah, people say they like it, and it's a reason why the music sounds good. But it's hard for me to say, you know, just like
I mean, I don't want to say anything. I just wanted to see like how people told you, because I don't think you can like change anything or like be conscious about it. It's just the way it is.
And again, that's a coincidence, you know. It's not like developed singing style or any sound developed, you know. When we started playing, I sang in our bands as teenagers as well. Me and guitarist Toto, we played together when we were younger. And I always sang there as well.
You said it was black metal stuff, or
This
different
was a sludge metal band. We're thinking of recording the songs with Slomosa because they are poppy and cool and sludge metal. I really like those songs. I sang in the same way there. I would just shout, you know. People have always been irritated at me, like especially when I was younger, singing. Apologies, I sing too loud, and I sing really loud. So I think that's.
But then it became your thing.
Effort, yeah.
Became your thing. Are you taking like voice lessons or anything? Or are you planning to do?
I was planning to do, but now I don't feel like I need it anymore because I was, I was thinking of going to a vocal therapist to learn, how to keep my voice before the first tour. And on that tour, that's a huge lesson. It was fine. It wasn't. On beforehand, I was so stressed. I was very anxious about singing 6 days in a row, 10 days in a row. You learn. It's fine. I do some simple warm up things because I went to music school as a teenager. For 3 years at high school, so we learned a little bit. But I sang 17 days in a row on this tour. And it's pretty, I use a lot of energy singing, so it can be, you learn how to do it in a way that doesn't ruin your voice, yeah.
Okay, so what's the plan now till the end of this year? You come home, you play one show in Germany, then you stay in Germany for a week, record some stuff, and what next?
We just stay in Germany, write some music, and then we play a gig.
Yeah, you have some gigs already scheduled in
we have
Norway.
A festival gig there after a week, and then we play in Norway with a symphony orchestra.
The fuck is that?
Symphony orchestra I used to play in when I was a teenager.
Okay, so you got connections.
Yeah. My family are classical musicians, so actually my mother plays in that orchestra.
I think other musicians are also like some kind of classically trained, no?
I think a lot of rock musicians, if they come from a music background, it's often classical music because you want to be oppositional.
But in Slomosa, they're like also trained, or do you know?
No. Yard is an amazing drummer. He can play a lot of different styles.
Marie is playing like 5-string bass.
Yeah, just because of the tuning here. It's a lot simpler. You can keep them...
What's the tuning here?
C standard. But Maria is a very known musician in Norway. She played in a band called Ratzika for must have been 10 years. 12 years, and they were all-girl band, arrived in the music scene in Norway maybe when I was 16. She must have been 17. They were really young. And back then, there wasn't anything like them. It was, wow, this is something new. And they were always good. I saw them play, and I always thought Maria was such a good bass player. They went on a hiatus after a lot of years. When we needed a bass player, I thought about her. Someone told me that they couldn't think. It was her ex-boyfriend from her teenagers. He's also a producer. It's a small city, Bergen. But I told him, I've been thinking about Maria. He asked me who's going to play bass. He said, nah, I don't think she wouldn't want to do that. Okay, so I didn't call her, I didn't have the balls to ask her straight out because I didn't know her that well. And then somebody in the record label lied to me and said that they had spoken with her 3 months after, and that she was positive. Oh, that she wanted to do it. It was pretty and I called her. Yeah, and she wanted to do it, and she had talked with the record label. I think it was a smart move by the label. They kind of fooled me into actually reaching out, And but they had talked with Maria, but she hadn't said what they said, But still, she said yes. Back then we were nothing, we hadn't released music, we had barely recorded music. There was no reason really, I couldn't, we did have the music, she could hear it. And she liked the music, obviously, but still she makes a living of music. Everybody wants Maria to play with them. That's something I think about. It makes me happy that there was just like when the music was released, just like when we made the music, there was nothing to expect. There was nothing to expect in her case, and suddenly this is the band that gets out in Europe.
Yeah, and it just comes out. The album comes out. The single comes out. Then the album comes out, and then now we're talking here. All right, Benjamin. I don't want to take too much time from you because you need to go down and sing with the Sasquatch people. The last thing is I ask, could you give me a song that I will put at the end of the episode?
I would say there is nothing new under the sun. You know what?
That's my favorite song.
I think that song is one of my favorites as well. It took 10 minutes to write. It's never happened before or after. Never again. I don't know what happened. We just needed a song. I sat in my room and I made it 3 parts. I think it's got a nice poppy thing and also it's heavy.
All right, and say the title of the song again with attitude.
This is There Is Nothing New Under the Sun!
Alright, thanks guys, I really like that song. So after the recording we went downstairs where the Sasquatch band was playing, and the Sasquatch band totally destroyed the audience. Mega amazing. And we're recording the interview like 15 minutes later after that, just outside near their van in the darkness, in the dark side of the venue, and this is how it went.
I'm Keith motherfucking Gibbs from Sasquatch.
I'm Craig Riggs from Sasquatch.
Guys, first of all, amazing show. I saw it. It's incredible. Destroyed the audience. It was packed. People loved it. I mean, you felt that it was great.
Yeah, it's great show, man. I mean, we thrive in small places like this. This is like the way we like to do things, honestly.
We kind of picture ourselves as sort of a bar band anyway. So even if we're playing the big hall over here, or if we're playing here, it's like no matter what, we always look at ourselves as the bar band. We're always like other bands are kicking it out, and then we're the bar band every night.
I could say that you really enjoyed people being like really close to you.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's just we get that energy, especially as part of the tour when we're a little bit tired. But those people, they give us.
Kicked it in.
They just make it. Yep. They make it happen. They make it happen for us too.
I think this is show 64.
I wanted to. First of all, a little introduction. Yesterday, I interviewed Hippie Death Cult.
Yeah,
they were in Vienna.
Very good friends of ours.
Good friends of yours. Yep. And I asked them, guys, can you help me out? I asked Eddie because Eddie was answering the questions.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Could you help me? Because Sasquatch is unexpectedly appearing. I need your help me to ask questions. And he asked, how the fuck are you managing to do all the touring? You've been in the tour for the last 4 months.
4 months.
I think a lot of it, first of all, the three of us love playing with each other, and that's the ultimate thing. Because if we didn't like what we do together, we wouldn't do this together. But we actually we love each other, the three of us. We are like three brothers, and that's why this happens. When we're tired, it's hard. It is tough, but the joy of playing together makes it all worth it, and that's the absolute truth. That's the fucking core of it.
100%. That's the deal.
So you mean
not brothers related, but for just brothers in music. We're like-minded, and yeah.
Because I mean, I read an interview from 10 years ago, and you said I don't really feel good. My knees hurt and shit.
We're kind of, we're making fun of it.
We're younger now, so
I was thinking, I was thinking, I was checking the interview that you did in Australia in 2017. You look younger than before.
I feel younger. Yeah.
Touring hard gets definitely puts years back on your life.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes. If you go out on the road for 4 months, that's like adding 4 years back into your life.
I would say it's the thing is when you do what you love in life, and it's the truth that you don't get those lines of what's the right word? Of just not enjoying everything, being miserable. We're not miserable. We laugh and have a great time all the time, and we're smiling constantly. Great time. We go out and have good dinners together. We go to cool places. It just, I don't know. We get to do all these things, and we do it. We need to do it together. That's the way it's only fun.
And even though we've actually done a lot of European tours and everything, every single time we go to some tonight we went to an interesting restaurant. It was great. And we had a great dinner together, all of us with Slomosa.
Make a point of it,
and it made it that never gets old. That will never ever get old. Going somewhere totally out of our element and enjoying a good dinner and stuff. So,
and we need to say that 4 months ago you started with North America, then you went to.
We actually started in Greece. We started in Greece, then did Story from the Underground, then did North America and Canada, and then went to Australia, then New Zealand, and then we got on a bus with Orange Goblin and did this whole fucking thing.
That's what I mean. That's why Eddie and me and everybody, what the fuck?
Right? Yeah.
It's the joy of playing together. I mean, that's the thing. When we're not playing, we spend time together anyway. This is not a thing where we're just together as a band. We go out and go to dinner together when we're,
I will say that the first show we played Kavala, Greece, and the reason that we kind of did that is because there's an island that we like to go to in Greece. So we played Kavala, and then we went down and hung out in Eos,
We went on we're a band that goes on vacation together.
Oh, you're that kind of a band. You're the Sasquatch band.
Yeah. That's what I said. We enjoy each other's company, and it's really we have a love for each other. It's we all have different personalities, but we have this thing where we actually really enjoy each other.
Weird.
I know, weird, right? Who does that?
I think it's so special. That's why we want to keep going, man.
And you exist 20 years and stuff, and you've been doing this for
15 years since the first record, but yeah, I guess it's coming on.
15 years when you're together, it's as a lineup right that we have.
Kyuss has been in the band since 2008. Rig has been in the band since about 2016 or 17? 15.
End of 2015. But I produced their second record too, so I've been friends with these guys forever.
We've been great friends all through that. On our second record, we went and I met Riggs. We got off the plane in Boston, and I met him, and I instantly disconnected with him, and then we became good friends ever since. And
they've recorded every every record 2 to the last record has been done at my studio in Boston.
So when we needed a drummer, and it was just, we had another drummer, Dan, who was awesome, but it was just the way it was. We'd said
I was persuasive. I was like, "That's my gig.
He said
that's my gig."
if there's an opening, I want it, and we just said because it's paid back because he did so much for us in the beginning, and we're like, I said to Cass, we got to Riggs, and Cass actually said, "Can he even play fucking drums?"
I was a singer at the time, so they didn't even. Yep. Actually, Cass filled in, played bass in a band that I was in back, a long time ago.
Wait a second. So, have you played drums before? No.
I had been a drummer for a long time, but I had taken a break from it, and I was being a singer in a band for a while. And then, so
Holy shit. Okay.
So yeah, so when the gig came up, I said, listen, we gotta do this because we talked about it. He's our good friend, and we got to give him a shot because that's what we do as friends. And he walked in, and I always hate to say this, but the magic happened right away. We connected, and it's no looking back. I mean, this is the band. If there's no,
I kind of forgot about that. This seems.
If this band doesn't exist
that was fun.
in this capacity, I really think that I wouldn't want to do it anymore because it's so fun right now, and the brothership and the camaraderie. It's just so amazing all the time. And we fight, argue. We argue. We don't,
Like a family.
we fight like a family. We all care about each other deeply. So it's really
Those guys are Italian, and now all of a sudden I'm Italian because I have to hang out with them all the time, and we have to go through the Italian the Italian battles.
so yeah.
Where
Man,
in the end we
it just
all love
works,
each other.
man. And since Riggs has been in the band, honestly, everything has gotten a lot better because his professionalism, and he's like. How do I say this the right way? Because what I was going to say was going to be like Sam makes you sound like an old guy. He's just like he's the elder of the band, and he's got a lot of experience, and he's brought us along, and so we've gotten better in every way because he's guided us in a lot of ways, and that really changed things because Cass and I were greenhorns doing a lot of this, and he brought us when we came over with him. He's just like, this is how you do things.
There's got to be another question.
Anyway. It's just great. I really mean that. We all love each
You're
other.
almost in the end of the tour. It is time to say the things that you can say right now.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I
Fuck
know.
you, Riggs, I'm sick of you.
Seriously, I'll kill you.
That's not
No,
true.
I mean, it's great stuff. The new record, right? So we have you released the Fever Fantasy like this year, right?
Yep.
June, I believe.
Yeah. But you recorded it in 2018, I think.
We recorded it right before the pandemic. We wrote it maybe a year before that. Recorded before the pandemic. Pandemic hit. Then we shelved it because Cass we were talking about we should release it, and Cass was like, nope. Let's wait till this thing blows over because we wanted to tour. I mean, that's our thing, man. We love touring. And Cass was smart.
Release a record and then not go on the road, and then
Cass waited because Cass is the most patient fucking dude in the world.
he is.
And he's like, and he had a plan, and we know that when he has a plan, we just let it happen. And it's, you know what? Once again, he's right, and his patience made this all happen because this tour probably wouldn't happen on this record.
Yeah, that's what I heard from the previous interviews, that you have this harmony in the band. Okay, Cass said, okay, we wait. And it was, you said that.
I'd be like, let's put it out. Riggs is like, maybe let's put it out. Cass is like, we're not putting it out.
We
That's the
don't.
way it is.
We honestly, like, Keith and I can say anything we want, but what Cass has is he's the guy that knows.
he's the responsible one.
He's the responsible one. That's exactly right.
He just
Yeah.
has a vision, and it's true. We always realize his vision is right. That's why we let him just make a lot of the calls because he's just that guy that's very well thought out.
With whom I was talking on Instagram, with Cass probably, if he's
Definitely. Yeah. Neither one of us know what Instagram is.
So perfect. You see, it explains a lot.
Yeah, I don't have. I'm social media. When the squares come up on Facebook, it doesn't even know my face, which I love. They can't identify me, and I revel in that.
You recorded in 2018, 2020, and I heard that there was a problem. Not a problem, but you recorded it and you had to sit on it. So you were thinking about it's good stuff or bad stuff, good stuff and bad stuff, right?
We're sick of the record by the time. I mean, it came out because we've been listening to it for 4 years, basically.
That's the whole thing. Is that when you have so much time to sit and listen to the record that you recorded, then you start critiquing your own record and thinking about every tiny little thing that you could change. So, and this is a tribute to Cass because if Keith and I had our way, we probably would have gone in and remixed the record and done all this stuff, you know.
Exactly, that's my next question.
Yeah, so Cass is like, no, man, listen, that's the record. This is it, you know, and it's great because now I'm happy. I'm very happy with the record. So it's like if we probably would have fucked it up and sucked the soul right out of it.
And if the songs have changed because we're playing them live now, and all of a sudden the songs they've morphed into different things, man. It's funny how we always do that.
Every record's that way.
We always end up playing it live, and then all of a sudden it's different.
Yeah.
And then we think, oh, we should have done it this way, but it doesn't make sense because now this is the live version, which is cool.
Right.
We have two different versions of the record.
Do you have a goal when you record a studio album that it has to be
to finish as quickly
Yeah.
as possible?
finish and release
I'm
it
not a big
on
fan of
time?
recording because it's just too tedious for me. I like to play live. That's where I thrive. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I own a recording studio, so for me, I want to sit there and take a bunch of time and make it right and all
I wanna
that.
get right through it and just go right to the bar and
Yeah. But
tacos.
you can ruin a record if you have too much time.
You need limitations.
You need somebody that says, that's it. It's over. This is it. That's what you did. Andrew Schneider is great at that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he worked on second album, no, or fourth.
He mixed maneuvers.
I produced it and recorded the second record, and then Andrew mixed it, and then did he mix maneuvers too?
I think so too.
Yeah, he mixed maneuvers, and then he recorded and mixed the Fever Fantasy. Yep. Like
mean,
He's
we're
great to work with. He's got
friends with
he's
Andrew
got a
forever.
different,
So
perspective because he's not even really into like what we do per se. He likes us as people, but so we like that he has a perspective that he comes into it with a whole different game.
Yep.
And
It's
I like that.
at Mad Oak Studio, right?
You could do the same old kind of stonery kind of mix, and like he doesn't do that. He's into bands like Shellac and
Insane.
and yeah, so he brings that, so it brings a different sound out of us, and I love that, man. And he's a great dude, great to work with.
When you're recording a studio album, are you trying to make it as a studio recording, or you want to, when you play live, it sounds the same as a studio?
I'm going to answer that one. Because Cass and Keith definitely wanted to be like, well, if we can't play it live, then what are we doing? But then I always feel as though the recorded record you can put a Hammond B3 on there, and it doesn't matter because that's the people are sitting and listening to the record, and you want to give them the full experience of that. And I think that this has been a battle between us, but yet one that maybe is slowly changed because we have added extra things, extra sounds, and interesting things.
But I also like to keep it like,
Yeah.
you know, I come from that AC/DC school. I like it stripped down and raw, but Riggs has great ideas, and we'll put little things, just one note here in the background, and I love it, man. I mean, it's
One
so
piano note that could,
Right.
and stuff like that.
We also have a keyboard player that's one of our good friends, Dave Unger, that plays with us sometimes, and we're trying to get him to play with us all the time, but we can't get him to get a fucking passport, Unger. But we want to become a four-piece eventually with him, but he's the only person that could join the band, just that guy, because it would change the dynamic of what we have, and he's our really good friend, so it would have to be him, right?
I think he played on Maneuvers, right? Yeah, and
Maneuvers and Fever Fantasy.
and Fever Fantasy.
Yeah,
And
we've
in Fever
done- we
Fantasy,
played
there's
again.
more keys.
Yeah, he's great at it, man. He just
I've been in multiple bands with him over the years. He's been a great friend of Sasquatch for forever.
great dude. We love Unger. I mean, he's a great guy.
All right. Okay. So the Fever Fantasy, it was like a new, fresh, old project, right?
Yeah.
What about the new material? I mean, right now you're like touring
Man, I
as
had a
fuck.
dream last night. It's funny. I totally had this dream last night that we wrote 6 songs, and then I go, "Hey guys, we already have 4 songs too. The record's done." Because we do have songs for our next record.
We have probably we have one song that we've actually played on the tour, that the new one, and then but we have 4 that are solid done, and then probably more that are hanging in the
There's
wings.
so much
You
in his
know,
head going on. There's so many riffs going on.
How?
We just got to get in a room together and make it happen.
What's the duration of the new songs? Because in the previous interview in Australia 2017-18, I don't know, like that you said like, oh, we have songs, but they're short or long. I forgot to write.
Right.
it. And now we're gonna.
Oh, change. It's funny. It's changed. There's so much going on when we're writing.
I feel, and I'll say this. Maybe this is the first time that actually that this is a thing to be said publicly, really. But when we talk about writing new songs, we tried to do the last 2 records pretty concise. You know, like maybe 3, 4 minute, 5 minute songs, not 7, 8, 9 minute songs. But now I think we're actually
songs on the record,
well,
which is funny.
But I think we're actually, like, we were talking about just reverting back to completely just going for like 7, 8 minute tunes, you know, just like going for it, you know.
I mean, it's just like we could do whatever we want right now, and I like that because we have a catalog where we could play anything live, so we could write songs, we could do whatever we want. And that's what I want to do. We just want to do what we want to play. Hopefully people love it, man. But we're always going to keep the core of what we do.
The one song that we are playing live right now is probably 3 minutes, 10 seconds.
So play that tomorrow night, by the way, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. I'm down.
Where you're playing tomorrow in Germany?
South. Yeah.
And then we go home. Then we get on a plane and go home, and I can't fucking wait to just go home. I have a daughter. I miss my daughter, so that's the thing. Halloween's coming, so they're going to be fun. You know?
There's a wall that I'm going to go home and stare at for probably a good, like, 5 solid days, you know? So...
Guys, get this interview.
Do you need something?
Schlüssel.
Schlüssel. See, we know certain words.
Yeah.
Schlüssel, tschüss, eine Bier, bitteschön.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Dankeschön. Dankeschön. Or no, I didn't say it right.
Oh, you said it right. You said it right. I mean, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. No, we like to try to do that when we're in countries, to try to speak the language.
Well, you spend so much time outside. It's better to learn time to learn the language.
I'm beginning to think that maybe we don't live in the United States anymore.
It seems like we haven't been in the United States much in the last.
I keep forgetting. Like I keep reminding me that you're from United States because I'm thinking like Australia probably or something like this.
No, mate.
Come on.
But this year, it was the first time you went to Scotland, I think.
We did, yeah. Yep, first night in...
Great place, man. We had a blast being there.
Excellent.
It was amazing just to walk through the streets there, and the crowd was great, and food was great, the pub was great, and the city is just, the architecture is amazing, man.
Where was it?
Edinburgh?
I played in Glasgow before with another band, but I'd never been to Edinburgh, and it's like the whole entire place. It's horrible to say this, but the whole entire place looks like a Harry Potter.
The architecture is amazing. Like it looks like
magical. The whole place is magical.
I hope that doesn't take it the wrong way. It's so like you're in a fantasy. Like when you're looking up, you're like, what the fuck? And the people were great. It couldn't be nicer.
Excellent people.
And I like Scotch too, by the way.
So I guess it's your favorite drink on a tour, or beer. What's the favorite drink? Do you drink?
We like. Do we drink? Did you say?
Yes. Do you drink?
Oh no.
I'm trying to be polite.
The three of us are definitely whiskey guys, man.
We like bourbon. We like the Knob Creek and the Maker's Mark, Jim Beam.
Jack Daniels, of course. You know you have to.
With Coke or without Coke?
A lot of Jack Daniels. Just color the whiskey with just a splash of Jack.
Lame style.
Un poquito Coca-Cola.
Because
Even the flavor of the whiskey, you know.
Because when I was interviewing Broom before, you know Broom, you played with them also.
Yep.
I think at the festivals, Desert Fright or something like this. Yeah. They mentioned that they like to drink margaritas when they're on tour.
We like margaritas too, baby.
You know, here's the thing though: is
Depends on where we are. In California,
you're
drink margaritas.
right. Because like we like the United States has excellent tequila all over the place, everywhere,
Mezcal.
and they and mezcal, right? But once in a while we run into a place here where we see a good bottle of tequila, and then like we have to hit that because you know it's like a special occasion to see, because you get a lot of in Europe, you get a lot of Cuervo, and Cuervo's not really tequila.
Yeah.
So
it's not. It's actually the worst tequila you could possibly get. And they're not shit on anybody, but when you live in the land of tequila, we have so many options of really good tequila that you could just put an ice cube in and sip it. It's that good.
yeah.
What about the worm in the tequila?
No, there's not even a thing. That's not it.
For like a thing when the people first drink tequila.
That's not even a thing. It's not. That's not really tequila. That first of all, the worm was mezcal. but it's also that's a novelty. That was a fake thing.
I've eaten the worm before.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also ate the fucking worm, of course, but I want to hear the original story.
Yeah, I mean,
California has
Yeah.
great margaritas, and we're in California a lot rehearsing, and so we know these places where we could just get it's just tequila.
I'm going to be in California on Wednesday,
Lime juice
and I'm going to
and
be drinking some margaritas and eating tacos in next week.
We are taco guys, man. We love tacos.
So I guess you haven't had a chance to eat those in the last 4 months.
No,
I guess.
not so much.
I have because I was in LA in between us going to from the U.S. tour to going to Australia. I stayed at Cass's house. I didn't go home. So I ate tacos for 5-6
That was
days
like
in a row.
that was like 7-8 months ago. Maybe it could have been a year ago.
Feels like it.
Jesus, like with you
Great
guys,
tacos.
with you guys, it's like 4 months of
Around
tour.
the world, man. World tour like bands used to do,
All right, so when can we expect some new material coming out? Like, you don't do singles, you do good, high quality albums.
We have a very interesting idea for a split EP coming up. So we're,
When?
it's hard to say.
March.
Well, yeah, that sounds good. March.
I mean, I'm also in the music industry. I know the way.
So we're not negotiating. We're talking and hanging out and chatting with some friends of ours
Planning.
to do a split EP.
Yeah, the band Lopan from the United States, who is excellent. If you've never heard of them, one of the
Yeah, I know.
one of the
Yeah, they're
greatest
good-
singers in rock and roll. The guy is amazing. Live record.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole band's great, but damn, the singing is just—they're so amazing.
You toured together like for a long time, also.
Yeah, we've done a bunch of touring.
They're
and-
very close
yep.
to us, and we want to do something with them because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but we love them, and if we're gonna do something, maybe that's what we want to do.
Maybe that's the next thing coming right up. Yep.
And again, I'm like, I don't want to give them all the good songs for the next record, so maybe we give them 1 or 2 crappy songs and 2 good songs. No, I'm kidding.
You don't do crappy songs. I mean, I know that you don't do filler songs on albums. Each song should be a killer.
I agree. That's what we try to do as a band. We like to write records. That's important to us to write a record. We don't care about just having a couple good songs. We chuck songs and we're like, well, it's not good enough because we want to have something you put on and you listen straight through. I mean, that's what we hope for. And a lot of people say that, and that makes us, I mean, honestly, that is one of the most flattering things in the world when people say we love the whole record. Because honestly, man, we want to give people all the bang for their buck, man. We don't care about ripping off the fans. We want them to have good stuff,
So maybe well, it's going to be interesting. This Lopan thing could be. I have a couple ideas of the way that it could go down. It might be really an interesting record. So looking forward.
Tell them about what we were thinking about. You had a great idea.
We can't.
I'm not going to say
okay.
it. Not now.
Next
Maybe
time,
that's something we got to keep.
We have a good plan.
come for the next tour.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, guys.
would like to have your autograph.
Oh, sure, man. We should finish this interview. I'll be right over. Okay.
That's fine. Yeah,
Absolutely.
no. Sorry, you.
It's okay. Yeah, no problem.
That's why I have this right light in
That's
my
why we
face.
have this rabbit here.
Anyways, guys, thank you very much. The last thing I always ask from all the bands, can you give us a song so that I could put at the end of the episodes? Good.
One of our tunes at the
Oh,
end,
yes.
or somebody else's tune.
No,
because
no,
we
no,
can
no,
give
no,
you a
no.
lot of other people's tunes.
No.
Of ours that we should put at the end of the episode?
Good introduction to the band.
I'd say Lives Beyond the Bay. I think that's our.
That's our bread and butter right now. That's the one that we end the show with every night, and people seem to go nuts. And it's cool because it's a little sludgy, but it still has a good chorus, and people go nuts. And it's
We absolutely 100% do not get sick of playing that song. I love playing that song every single night, and we played it. We mix our setup all the time on the whole tour. This 4 months that we've been playing, we mix the setup all the time. But every single time we play that song, and we're really happy to play it because it's fun.
It's got a groove that I don't know. It's infectious, and people seem to just go nuts during it. And it's like when the crowd really loses their shit, and we love that.
All right, say the title of the song again with attitude.
It lies beyond the motherfucking bay.
Thank you, Sasquatch. It's a killer song. And thanks again to Slomosa and Sasquatch, and thank you, dear listener, for staying till the end. It was amazing. Loved it. Don't forget to subscribe or follow this podcast on Spotify or Apple. Share this episode on social media. You can support the podcast on Patreon. It takes a lot of time and energy to make this podcast, so any help would be appreciated. Thanks again, and until next time, bye.